Everyone, welcome back to Unwritten with Thomas Malpass. Today I have Brigitte Visser, a light empowerment coach who's had her fair share of trauma and adversities in life. In this episode, we speak about healing modalities such as channeling energies, light language healings, what is a light empowerment coach, and more. She discusses overcoming her past adversities and the process of becoming authentically one's self, and the importance of self-love and awareness in the healing journey. We also dive into spiritual practices, handling toxic relationships, and the value of practicing the art of manifestation. If you haven't already subscribed, go ahead and do so to support the show. And share this with somebody who you think might like this episode or show. Thank you so much for supporting the show, and I'll see you in the episode. Enjoy. Welcome to the Unwritten Podcast with your host, Thomas Malpass, where we are on a mission to help the world find more purpose, passion, and peace in their everyday lives. Through deep conversations and connection, tune in because we are all on this journey of life together. Who is Brigitte Visser, really? And why are you a light empowerment person?
Well, gosh, who am I? Who are we all? Well, I am indeed Brigitte. But first of all, Thomas, thank you for having me on your show. So yes, I am a light empowerment coach, divine channel, and a light language healer. And when that comes out is like, excuse me, what are you?
Yeah.
What are you? So it's really about, when I say like light empowerment coach, everything is, it says it in the wording. It's all about finding that light within ourselves that we have so layered with conditioning. It's empowering ourselves back to the wholesomeness of the soul that we truly are. And it's really realigning ourselves that we feel peachy in our own skin, because a lot of the times we just do not. And it's really just about recovering that light. And yes, a divine channel. I mean, I channel the many, many light beings, ascended masters, archangels. It's like second nature to me these days. And light language healing is something that people are like, what is that? And it's really an ancient technique. I mean, you're not going to understand it on a conscience level. You're like, what the heck is she saying? But it's like durable language. But I mean, on a soul level, you're on a soul level, the codes integrate with your soul just beautifully, and your soul understands it, and that's the main thing. And it's just an ancient form of healing. And I think there's so many healing modalities that are bobbing to the surface now, and that are very ancient and are gaining more traction now.
Have you heard of the saying, God said, let there be light?
Yes.
And that light is us.
Yes, it is. Absolutely.
So, but what led you to this? Like, why'd you even get into light empowering, light coaching, and following the path of your soul,
Yeah.
I guess?
I think that's life experiences. I went through a lot of trauma, and many people go through pain and suffering throughout their lives, and it's how we deal with that pain and how we turn our challenges and then suffering into wisdom and understanding. So for me, I mean, yes, I was abused as a kid by a friend of the family. I lost my dad when I was 14. I was already starving myself when I was at a young age, but I hid it very well. I was bullied in high school because I was very tall, as we just discussed, 5'11" and super skinny. And I had this immense fear of boys, and it was so ingrained within me and being bullied didn't even help my self-confidence. So when my mom put me on a modeling course at about 16, because I was like walking around like the Hunchback of Notre Dame because I didn't want to be seen, and unfortunately I hadn't heard of Harry Potter's invisible cloak yet. But anyhow, yeah, so she put me on a course, and that didn't crick up my confidence at all. I mean, there's one thing I always say, Thomas. When you suffer from trauma and it's not healed, you just keep creating more trauma, and it remains in your energy, and in your energy field and in your cellular memory body. And so I was chosen to be like the main model for a hair show, but the hairdresser, chopped my hair from here, from my shoulders, into a pixie cut. Yeah, that didn't really work for me. I mean, I felt even uglier, honestly.
Yeah,
But I
you
wanted
didn't like
so.
it.
I had no
You didn't
choice.
like it.
I did that, and then from there on, I mean, I was really like this when I finished school. I just wanted to prove to these bullies and to all the people that put me down, like I can be someone. Yeah, that didn't work out really well in the modeling industry, but I mean, I tried it, and I mean, I worked everywhere wherever I went in the world, but I was bartending, hostessing, doing promo work because I couldn't live off the modeling. I'd be living under a bridge. And even in the modeling industry, I was assaulted by a hairdresser, and just potted that all up. And when my stepdad passed away in 2000, he had cancer, and I, I had a group of friends, and they did drugs, and I rolled into drugs for 3 months. I was still working, but I suffered blackouts. I just and then I thought I can't go on like this anymore, and I just quit from one day to the next. Fell into dysfunctional relationships because I was a late bloomer anyway. My first relationship was I was like 21 years old, and I was like a real freak though because
What do you
honestly,
mean?
I thought, when I kissed the boy, it was like, oh my God, but I can't, now I can't get out of it. Regardless if I wasn't happy or not, it was like sugar, banana. I kissed him and I need to stay with him. That's how
Mm.
weirdly wired my mind was. And
Yeah, I know what you mean.
yeah, so, and well, there are a couple of dysfunctional relationships, but the thing is, I was trying to save all these broken birds, but I was so broken myself. So that is exactly what I attracted. That's what we do. And every little broken bird we attract, whether that's romantic, interpersonal, family, doesn't really matter, but we we try to fix them. And it's like, yeah, everyone's a mirror of each other. And just because I was trying to fix them, I wanted to mold them, according to my liking. But it doesn't work that way. It just doesn't work that way. Everyone has to walk their own journey, and I also had to learn to walk my own journey. But I think in 2009 was a big turning point for me. And my ex was a part-time crack addict, and it got out of control, and I didn't even know that. Didn't know that until I saw it firsthand. He's doing very well, by the way. Now he's turned his life around years later, but and I'm still in touch with him. But yeah, I'd never seen someone with crack hands, and even though he wanted to get better in Holland because he didn't have a Dutch social because he was from the States, and he nobody would take him on, which is ridiculous because somebody's trying to get help. And so it got from bad to worse, and then he landed in bed with the Dutch Crips, and they held him for ransom. Long story short, I helped the police, and then my mom, because it got so bad. I mean, she just got me out of Holland back to the UK in the space of several days, and I rented an apartment.
Wait, you said he did what for ransom?
Yeah,
What?
yeah, they held him for ransom because he stole
Who?
from
Who?
them, and
You said there was like a gang or
yeah,
something?
the Crips, the Dutch
Oh,
Crips. Yeah.
wow.
I mean, yeah, that was it was a real experience. It was a real trip. It wasn't fun at the time for me, but I look back now, and I'm super grateful. I mean, yeah, the police got my ex and they deported him back to the US. But the leader of the Crips called me at the time. He's behind bars now in Holland. He's not going to see the light of day for many, many, many years. But um, so yeah, I was in the UK, and the of the Crips called me and he said, if I'm ever going to find you, he's like, I'm going to kill you. And that just shook me to my core. And yeah, I always, I downed a whole box of ibuprofens, and all they got me.
Ibuprofen.
I
I don't
know,
think
right? A
that.
whole box. And all that.
That's like taking a whole NyQuil or something. I don't know.
Yeah, I know. And I got like 12 hours sleep, and my headache was gone. But mm, I went to see a counselor actually, and
Hmm.
the counselor wasn't really of help to me, because after I told her my story, all she said to me was, Brigitte, you know what? You're going to be fine. You're strong enough. And that didn't get me anywhere. So I had to figure it out. What am I going to do? And so I found a Reiki healer. I went the holistic route because that's what worked for me. See, I don't care how you heal, but just I always say to people, take that first step to heal, and it doesn't matter if it's a counselor, if it's shrink, if
Hmm.
it's you know cognitive therapy or any other holistic route.
Medicine,
Yeah,
maybe.
yeah, medicine as well. It's whatever aligns with your spirit. Yeah, whatever
Hmm.
works for you. And I studied many, many healing modalities because I just absorbed, I just wanted to understand. And it was also a healing journey for me. That doesn't mean it was like, oh, my life was a bed of roses after that. No, absolutely not. Absolutely not. Because when I moved to Florida, I mean, I fell into another very, I was presented with another character, just a different wrapping, different experience. The universe has a twisted sense of humor sometimes. And yeah, this person just would not relent, would not let me go, suffered from depression, and lost his mother. He's doing very well now too, by the way. But um, yeah, so it was very much, I was in a fight or flight mode, and he would never let me be. And he would always ask me where I would go, very, very possessive, didn't like the clothes I'd wear. And he's like, I'm not going out with you like that. Um, it was very, it was a kind of what you would call like a mental abuse. And I allowed that in, and I was working so hard, and I was even helping out paying his bills. But that was my own fault, my own downfall. I take responsibility for that. And yeah, it got so bad I sold my home and bought another home, and that was a bit of a money pit. But I was screaming and shouting at the universe. I'm like, why is everyone else so happy? Why do I have to keep suffering? Why? and and then I learned to listen, and I started, another part of my healing journey where I went. My sister told me about kambo treatment, which is shamanic frog medicine. Very, very powerful, very, very physical, because the shaman burns either points in your arms, in your either arm, or in either leg. And he did it in my leg, and I was just, it was so physical because you purge, it comes out everywhere. And you have to drink like 2 liters of water as well. And I just kept running up and down to the toilet as well. It was so physical, but it was a beautiful experience.
What was it?
What, the combo treatment?
Combo?
Combo, yep.
And you said frog
Yeah, it's
medicine?
frog medicine. What they do is um, they scrape the poison from the Amazonian monkey tree frog, and they then, well, of course, I mean, they croak happily ever
Is it
after.
like ayahuasca?
So ayahuasca is a little
Similar?
different, yes, but it's from that same branch, that same type of medicine. And but here
But it's a little different
it's
ritual.
a different ritual. Yes, it's a different.
I wanna do that. Not just like for like, because some people they just want to do it like just to like that high feeling or whatever.
Oh no.
I wanna. No, no, I know. I'm just saying some like people do it just for that. But I think I've never done it, but I've seen like documentaries.
Yeah.
I've seen research. Some people like they feel like nothing happened to them afterwards. They just felt like they just threw up and they felt sick. And some people say they were transported into another version of
Yeah,
themselves where
apparently, yeah, yeah. But for me, yeah, you're right. For everyone, it's different. For me, it was my ego battling me for 4 hours because I was so preconditioned. And I had this yellow bucket next to me, and I'm telling you, it just came out. And when I had to go to the toilet, it just helped me up. Get so used to it. But it's extremely physical.
mm,
Once he puts the points on the skin that he's burnt off, like the 4 points or 5 points, it goes like it's like a rush to your head, and it's like your head is exploding. So
mm,
that's why it's very, very physical. Whereas if you have like spiritual healing or Reiki, it's a completely different feeling. But this is so physical. I mean, for me, afterwards, I felt so much clearer in my head, but I'm not a person that can just lie down. I know, like my sister said, she saw a lot of colors and got messages, but
mm.
no, I couldn't. I couldn't sit down, couldn't have a cup of tea. I just wanted to go out and walk outside.
You had to like keep pacing
Yeah,
or
just walk outside in nature. That was just
mm.
something. But yeah, I mean, I went back like 2 more times. Um,
How'd you feel
it was
after all of
amazing.
it?
I mean, not that I had a lot of stuff anyway, but I did a lot of clearing out. I made a bucket list. So I put on there that I wanted to go skydiving, which I did. I nearly peed in my pants when I did it, but I made it back down to earth. And then they were
Gotta
like,
wear a diaper.
"Yeah, would you
Just
go
kidding.
again?" Yeah, sure. No, I was thinking, no. But yeah, I did hang gliding. I loved hang gliding. I started running for charity because I promised my stepdad when he passed away in 2000 that I would. And I always say this, I used to keep running in my head for
Mm,
16 years until I finally said, you know what, I'm going to do it. And I did, and I loved doing it. Um, I,
yeah.
yeah, I followed another course in channeling, and it was a workshop. I was really listening. I was learning to tune in, and just become more aware, because that's what happens when you do Kambo. You become more aware of yourself, become more aware of your surroundings.
Mm,
And yeah, I did a channeling course, but I also walked through the Akashic records. And the Akashic records are past lives. And it's very, very
mm,
interesting because I walked through past life with Alania Starhawk, who became my mentor actually. And in this lifetime, I had severe stomach issues when I was with the person in Florida, and that stemmed from a past life. I could hold nothing in, not even a cup of tea. Everything just came out, and I became skin over bones. So she didn't know that, and so in a past life, in the Middle Ages, sometime, I was pretty well off, and this guy in my life was a charlatan trying to climb the social ladder. What happened was he killed me with an arsenic, and that's why I had stomach issues. And it took a couple of
mm.
months for him to kill me under the guise of healing me. But yeah, so that was really, really interesting.
So what, like, what exactly are these Akashic? You
Akashi
said
Records?
Akashic. Yeah, I've heard of
Yeah.
them before, but I'm not like. Is it like a practice or is it like?
So yeah, so the Akashic records, the Akashic Hall of Records does exist. I always say it exists within us as well as without
Mm,
us, but um, it contains all of our lives. But we're multidimensional beings as it is, which is we are. It's hard.
it sounds
It sounds
crazy,
crazy, but we
but
are.
no, I I see it on like a scientific level.
Mhm.
Like people who think it sounds crazy. It's not that crazy. Look, it the biggest like guy in the business right now, I guess business, is Joe
Yeah, I
Dispenza,
love him.
and he explains it scientifically. Like if you think it's like literally out of this world, like you don't believe it, he explains it. It's more like uh, quantum
Yes.
physics and like the it's like radio waves. You can't see radio waves, right? But you know it's working. You can't see the internet. Like you can't
Correct.
see the internet, but you know it's working. That's what I think our brains are constantly vibrating on this certain frequency
Yes.
and energies, and that's part that like we can lose touch with that like you were saying, that multi-dimensional
Yep.
frequency. So
Yep. I love
yeah,
Joe Dispenza. Um,
yeah, he explains this stuff like so like scientifically for the people that are skeptical about it.
yep. Yes. Um, I'm not sure if you've seen What the Bleep Do We Know? What the bleep do you know? Or
No,
what we don't know? Yes.
I haven't seen that one.
Um, but it's great how they describe the little hypothalamus in the brain and how we store everything there. And everything that is unhealed remains as a trigger. So if we were to meet someone and we put up our little hedgehog spikes because we've got some unhealed trauma in the archives of our minds, and that little hypothalamus is starting to work in overdrive, and then it's starting to send
Mm,
signals to the peptides and the receptors, and boom, oh no,
it's
I
like
cannot do
defense
this.
mode.
It's
Yeah.
really, really interesting. So yeah, but past lives are very interesting because we carry remnants. We carry remnants of that in our own physical reality in the now, and it's powerful because it changes the energy. It heals. And my ex just left me alone, and he started to work on himself, which is great.
How do we, I guess, see? How do we study our own records?
I mean, I can step into my past lives now, no issue. But I always say to people, either go for regression or get with an akashic record healer. It's fascinating to walk through your past lives, because you understand a lot more about yourself as well.
How how does that even like work? How does it work?
Oh, how
Do
does
they
it
just
work?
like talk to you?
Yeah,
Yeah, do they
so I mean,
like
regression is something that's deep, really deep. So that's
yeah.
different to Akashic record healing, because in Akashic record healing, you do not go under hypnosis.
Oh,
You,
you're in hypnosis.
yeah, and yeah, so you just talk, and it's hard to explain. It's powerful, but you're not. I mean, you're conscious. Yeah, with regression therapy, I was under hypnosis. I was very far, far gone.
Not not like far gone,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
so you like after that you felt like you seen your past lives that told a certain story and narrative
Yeah.
that helped you understand where you are right now.
At that point in time, yes, it did. Absolutely. I understood that. And like I said, it was powerful because the energy changed. And that was so amazing about it. Um, and yeah, I mean, I left the US pretty much with nothing. I mean, I've started so many times over in my life that I don't really care for the
Yeah,
material. Um,
yeah.
I'm pretty easy about it. I've moved more times than my age, which is insane. I'm a bit of a nomad, a bit of a wanderer, but yeah. I mean, I look back on all my experiences, and honestly, Thomas, I am nothing but grateful. I have
Mm,
forgiven myself. I've forgiven all the other people. I don't carry any hate, no fear, no regrets. All those labels are really gone. And that's the thing with experiences. People get hung up on them, and they keep so much inside. They lug so much baggage with them. And you're so much freer if you just learn to let go. And I understand we all go through various degrees of pain and suffering, and trauma, but it's actually how we heal and how we use these stepping stones, to heal our wounded mind and our soul. And that's the most important thing. And we often wonder why our life goes to pot. And it's really about learning to release and learning to forgive, having compassion for yourself, and just hugging it out with yourself. And the most important thing
Mm.
is that return to a love for ourselves and each other. And that's the hardest thing. My dad always used to say,
Is it?
yeah, you look in the mirror and tell yourself, even as a kid, I love you. When I was standing there, what? What?
Yeah. Tell yourself, talk to yourself.
Yeah.
No, it's true because there's just like good test. It's like, think of all the negative things you tell yourself, and like, oh, how can I accomplish this? How can I do that? Like, or I'll never be able to do this. Like all these negative or discouraging
Yeah.
self-talk. Think about all that, and then ask yourself, would you tell the love of your life or your best friend, would you tell that to your best friend? Everything you're telling yourself, would you tell that to your best friend?
No, it's really negative self talk, isn't it?
Yeah, and we don't like realize it,
No, but
or it's like subconscious. We don't know how to snap out of it
we don't.
sometimes.
We don't. But when we feed that negative self talk, we sprout these little seedlings.
Hmm.
And that's what we nurture. And it's the same with, like, when we try and manifest something, we keep kicking that can down the road because we say, I want to be, I will have that. And you should say, like, I am successful, I am living in my dream home, which looks like XYZ. And that's the power of manifestation, because that's the power of energy. And we are divine alchemists. And we don't realize that. And so we are more powerful than we are led to believe. And manifestation is an amazing it is amazing if you understand how it works. But again, you need patience.
No, yeah, I always tell people you get more of what you put out. So
Yes.
if you put out complaining,
Oh yeah.
if you put out, uh, that's the big one, complaining. I mean, sometimes it's easy because it's easy to complain, right? But if you keep putting that out there, you're gonna keep getting back what you're complaining about.
Absolutely.
So
Yes.
stop. It's easier said than done, but you have to. I also tell people, if you think of complaining or you think discouraging thoughts
Hmm.
or anything that doesn't feel good, in that moment, you can also think the opposite.
Yes, you can.
So I always tell people, as a practice, use that negative thought as a trigger point
Yes.
to think the opposite, that you can do it, that you can stop complaining, that whatever the opposite is of that negative thought, you could do the opposite of it.
Yeah, that's becoming conscious. That's becoming aware of your thoughts.
Yeah.
Yep.
So, Brigitte, you said you you said you fit in like SpongeBob, soaking up all the vibes
Yes.
of everyone else except yourself.
Yep.
When when did you really decide to soak up your own vibes?
When I stopped letting people run all over me like a damn cart truck.
Like roadkill.
Yeah, like roadkill. Roadkill every single time. It's like, welcome. How can I help you? Yeah.
Splat.
So I really had to learn. I mean, it took me many, many, many years to take back my own power and to realize that I was also worthy and that I was enough. Rather than doing all the people pleasing and thinking, oh my God, I cannot say that. Oh my gosh, well, what are they going to think of me? Oh no, 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 I cannot do that. It's like walking on eggshells because we care so much what other people think of us, and it shouldn't, you know? What's important is what we think and what we think of ourselves and how we feel about ourselves. If other people don't like us, it's okay. You know, it doesn't matter. I always say to people, you can treat me like Marmite. You either love me, hate me, or you just don't like me. It doesn't matter to me. Um, yeah, so it's all about taking back our power, and that is something that I had to learn as well. Um, yeah, and these days, honestly, Thomas, I'm very chilled. I mean, even when I was in relationships, and I know this, a lot of people do this. Yeah, what are you doing? Where are you going? Why isn't he calling? Why this? Why that? And
Yeah.
yeah, it's just like leave people be as they are. Just accept them as they are.
I
And
think it's a trust thing. That what you're talking about is
it
insecurities
is
and trust.
absolutely. And it's we need to look at the relationship we have with ourselves.
Hmm.
It's really, really important. And once we work on that relationship, on our own relationship, we change our own energy. And so that's why I often say relationships are like this never ending legal contract, clauses upon clauses that are entered time and time again. And just accept one another as you are. And if something doesn't work out, then be grateful. Saint Germain, I work a lot with the Ascended Master Saint Germain, and he always says, just take a deep bow of gratitude and understand that you were part of each other's lives to learn something from one another. And when somebody triggers you, then look within yourself and reevaluate why or analyze why this person has triggered you and heal that part of yourself.
Yeah. Yeah, because often when somebody goes into these states of mind and
Mm.
triggering events, it's not really about them.
No?
It's about you.
Yes.
So but it all goes back to gaining more
Yep.
awareness and consciousness and snapping yourself out of these automatic responses.
Yes.
Um, how do you think people should start doing that? How do you think people should start gaining more awareness?
Taking a deep breath before responding. No, there's so many.
Yeah, sometimes I catch myself like when I'm I don't know, either getting frustrated
Mhm.
or any feelings, anxiety. I catch myself holding my breath.
Yeah.
I'm like, why am I holding my breath? Like, just breathe.
There is another really good little exercise, but it's like I said, you need to become aware of it. It's so easy to point fingers and to get frustrated, but if I were to hold a mirror up to you, you're the one pointing fingers at yourself. Yeah. And
Yeah.
there is a great little exercise that I really love doing. It's a grounding exercise where you close your eyes and trying to get the mind still. A lot of people have a problem with getting the mind still and just recentering. But what I do is I just put a couch behind my eyes and I imagine myself sitting on that couch right behind my eyes. And then I take a very deep breath in and just breathe out and let go of that heaviness. And take another very deep breath in, filling up the lungs, and gently breathing out. And then from your root chakra, just imagine a beautiful, beautiful beam of light or roots growing out, and they're going all the way to the center of the earth. And when you've reached the center of the earth, wrap it around the beautiful core, the crystal core, and imagine that light spreading back up, all the way back up to your root chakra. And from your root chakra, just imagine that light, that energy expanding in your energy field. And again, just keep breathing in and out. But as you feel that, it's like you're totally centered in your I am present, your presence. You're totally grounded. And that's what it is, because people live so much in either the future or the past rather than being present in the moment and being present in their body.
That was really good. That was a beautiful meditation.
Yeah, it's so simple. It's so simple.
But I do want to point out when you're taking me to the core,
Yeah.
my roots started to burn.
No, but it's a crystal. I said it's a crystal.
But you have to go through the lava though.
It will. Yeah, so next time, do not think of the lava, just think of the core as a crystal.
Or your roots are made out of are so resilient. They're made out of tough diamonds.
Yes,
that reach
that's the
and
light,
wrap
either
around.
the light or the roots, yes.
Yeah, they'll get there some way somehow through all the dirt and lava.
Yes,
They'll get there.
absolutely, absolutely. But that's another great exercise, and just, yeah, and just
And that only takes like 5 minutes. Not even.
could even take like
A
a minute,
minute.
not even.
Yeah. And then you can go on with your day.
Yeah, you're just recentered, just rebalanced. I mean, I often say to people, listen to David G meditations on, on YouTube.
Which one?
David G, J-I.
Java G.
Yeah, and he's got like 20-minute meditations for anxiety, fear, and he does the breathing exercises, has a mantra, Sanskrit mantra or Hindu mantra, and yeah, it's very, very powerful. And many people say, you know what, I can't meditate because, my mind wanders. Great, that's fine. But if you understand that your mind wanders, just when you catch that, just go back to the breath, and that's it.
I just made a insightful post today about meditation. And I basically told people that meditation is like another word for impermanence. You're practicing the impermanence, that things come and go,
Yes.
but you're still here.
Yes.
So that's basically what meditation is. Your thoughts come and go. Our physical body comes and goes. Everything comes and goes. But also the fact that since everything comes and goes, that it gets you to realize that we're living here now.
Yes. My guys have called it, meditation is like prayer in motion.
Yeah. I mean, prayer is like another form of
Yes.
meditation too.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And people, actually, the power of prayer is pretty phenomenal. It's people look at it in a funny way, but it has. When a whole bunch of people pray, it's a lot of energy in the room, a lot of energy.
Yeah, I want to go to They have like sound healing
Yes.
events.
Hmm.
I want to go to one of those, see how it feels.
Yeah, I have crystal balls and an alchemy ball. My alchemy ball is the laughing Buddha for the solar plexus, and then my crystal ball, the green one, is the heart chakra, and I have one for the throat chakra, and the sounds are amazing. Amazing.
It's healing.
Yeah,
It's healing
very,
sounds.
yes, yes.
And it's like it's like an innate response.
Yes,
Like I feel like if anybody just really just sat down and listened to it, like they'd feel better
they
afterwards.
would, because your energy and that is energy. And so that
It's
vibrates. It's
aligning.
aligning. Yes, absolutely. It aligns you back to the grid of yourself.
I love it. Brigitte, what is becoming authentically you?
God, you know what? I'm still not there. I'm still learning as I go along. I still got my
Aren't
flaws.
we all?
Yes,
Yeah.
but that's the process. It's the process of unbecoming and becoming who you most authentically are in this world, whatever version that may be. And our experiences are not here to downgrade us, they're here to help elevate our awareness and make us see that there is more to life and to understand more. To understand life in all of its grand spectacle, as they put it up there. But yeah, it's like I said, it's unbecoming and becoming the best version of yourself and healing all these layers. As I always said, that you peel back the onion layers, you go through the experiences, you cry, then you heal, and then you go through another experience, you cry and you heal, until you get to that core. And it may not be in this lifetime. Before you're enlightened, you're probably too, well, heaven knows how many lifetimes away. But it is a process of just becoming more conscious and returning to that love for ourselves and just standing in your own power and being yourself rather than wearing all these different masks, and being genuinely yourself and not being afraid to speak your mind. um yeah.
Despite how other people see you.
Yes, despite how other people see me. But I think the difference now is, for me, I'm not really bothered what people think of me. Not like, oh, well, why is this person saying that? Why? No, it's okay. We all vibe at different levels of consciousness. I take it in my stride, and that's it. Because as you said, it's not about whatever they say. It's not about you, but it's about them and how they feel about themselves, and it's okay.
Yeah. It's okay. What what do you tell people, let's say, because I have a story that me and my brother were just talking about.
Mhm.
um, let's say you have somebody in your life and they're trying to bring you down.
Mhm. Yeah.
How should we show up when that, like, let's say that happens, like somebody's, I don't know, toxic ex, um, somebody obnoxious, complaining, maybe at the workplace you don't get along,
Mhm.
and you have to deal with them on a daily basis. How do we face that?
We face that by just breathing and just grounding ourselves and just saying, you know what, I got this, because I know that I'm enough and I'm here to show up for me. And that's it. That is enough. I have the same issue with work. It's a bit of a toxic environment, oil and gas, but I just cocoon myself and I do my work, and that's it. I think for me, and when we talk about work, it's just a job now. That's it. No more, no less. It's pays the bills. But when somebody puts you down, again, you can listen to them,
Yeah.
but it's not about you. It's really about the other person, and they need to work on themselves. It's so easy to put people down because we feel so rotten inside, and we need to let that out. And what do? We put other people down, and the reason people are toxic is because they hold a lot of emotional, I would say emotional trauma, but as they put it up there, emotional debris. They hold that within themselves, and so they love to cause chaos. But it's just their level of consciousness and where they are at. And you do not have to meet them there. Absolutely not. And I know that is hard
Yeah.
when we are right in the middle of something, but it's taking a step back and looking at things from a different perspective rather than handling something the same way you've always handled it. Yeah, do something different. Take a step back, and yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Because my brother, I don't want to like get too into it, but basically dealing with somebody obnoxious, being toxic,
Yep.
and he said he reached past his tipping point, boiling point,
Good.
and they both just argued, and he couldn't go to sleep. And I said, my advice, I mean, it's hard. Everybody, it's hard when you're in the moment of
Yes, it
these
is.
things. Like, it really is hard. But I told him, when moments like that happen,
Yep.
I tell myself the mantra. Have you heard of the mantra, um, rising tide lifts all boats?
No.
Well, there's a mantra called
Okay.
rising tide lifts all boats. I said, be the rising tide
Yeah.
that lifts
Yep.
these boats up.
That makes sense. And what did he say?
Yeah. He said he couldn't. He in that moment he agreed when I told him that, and it makes sense. But he got the best. His emotions got the best of him.
Yeah.
Those triggering feelings of, I guess, expressing being authentically you and expressing your emotions. I think that's important. You shouldn't hold on to emotions.
That's true.
You definitely have to feel them.
Yes.
But I told him, next time that happens, be the rising tide.
Yeah. Yes, we should feel our emotions. And a lot of people pot up their emotions. But again, if people are toxic for one another and it really doesn't work out, and this person would keep putting your brother down, then sometimes it's better to walk away. Is that a love, or is that a
Yeah.
conditioned love? There's a big difference. I mean, there's obviously something going
Yeah.
on with the other person involved that, yeah, that feels the need to put your brother down.
Yeah, I just think there's always going to be people like that.
Yes.
And we just have to, that's why we do, the people that aren't or have healed from that part of their lives, I think that's the best thing we can do, is just stay resilient.
Yeah.
Keep with our practice, and don't, I see it as like a trap. It's like a trap. Like they're here, they have this trap of trying to, it's a test. It's a test. It's
That
like
is, yeah,
life will test you in these ways.
it will.
And it's like, why were you doing the work if you're not going to practice it? Why are you practicing healing? Why are you practicing meditation if when these moments in life happen, in real time,
Yes,
that's a test for you to practice what you've been practicing.
absolutely. And it's just another experience. Even for your brother, it's just another experience. How he handles it, how he deals with it, is his own. That is his own choice, and it will manifest into his own reality.
Hmm. So let's say somebody has done the work, they've done the healing, and they've discovered themselves and they feel empowered. What's after that?
Whatever you want. Whatever you want. Rome wasn't built in a
But
day, and their money was through Rome. It's whatever you want. Do you know,
yeah.
that's the thing about life. There's no right or wrong in how you decide to experience it, but do what makes your heart come alive. Do what makes your soul sing. Do what you're passionate about.
When I first like was thinking about that, my first thought was to share it, to share that part of you with the world. I think that's why I'm doing what I'm doing right now.
But to inspire other people, to empower other people. Yes.
But it's different for everybody, I guess.
It absolutely is. But that's why I say we're all walking one another back home. We're all these beautiful mirrors of one another. And when you look at life that way, it's like, oh, well, maybe, yeah, you're right. Why am I being triggered? Why do I have this icky feeling about this person? What do I need to look at within myself? Rather than deflecting, it's all about reflecting.
That's really good. Yeah. Don't deflect, reflect.
Yeah.
I'm gonna steal that one. But anyways, you said the journey begins when we choose to walk forward with courage and hope.
Yes.
My question is, how do we decide?
What do you think? I'm a fairy godmother? What do you think, you? Only you can decide that. Whoa. Do you want to make...
You're gonna sprinkle some dust.
Yes. Here's some pixie dust. No, only you can decide if you want to make the changes, the necessary changes within yourself. Look, if you're feeling at a dis-ease within your own skin, and many people suffer these days, it's really about doing the work. You have to do the work. You have to walk through those dark nights of soul. We're born, we incarnate into this earthly jungle, as I always call it, this matrix, this societal paradigm that's been created to make us feel uneasy within ourselves. And it's really about, as I said to you earlier, it's about recovering our light and just healing from everything and unlearning everything that we've learned.
What do you think you would tell somebody that says, I'm healed, I don't know what to do next, though?
I'm healed.
Yeah.
There's a funny story. This is a really funny story. I think, yes, it just reminded me. So I remember when I was in St. Pete and I was doing this channeling workshop, I'm thinking, wow, oh no, I've healed. I've got no more shadow sides in me. No, I'm good. And when I was writing my book, my guides were laughing so hard at me. Yeah, but I'm okay. No, but trust me, I still have a lot of work to do. If somebody says I'm healed, yeah, great. In that moment in time you are, and you do feel great, but there's always more healing work to be done. But I'm not going to say to somebody, if they're saying, Unhealed? Okay, great. Unless you
Yeah,
heal from a
I
bone
think
fracture, for instance.
yeah, I think it's a
It
practice.
is?
Like true healing is it's a practice.
Yeah.
Like you don't just like write on a piece of paper I'm healed and it just magically, because I think if you say that, if you say I'm healed, I have nothing left, I think that's like saying my story doesn't matter anymore. It's like that things that happened in the past that I'm healed from, like it's not a part of me necessarily. But I think
Agree.
it'll always be a part of you. It's just that you're in a better place now.
Yes.
You're healed from that, but it'll always be a part of your story.
Exactly. And it's like the wounds heal and we stop bleeding. And once we stop
Mm-hmm.
bleeding, it stops bleeding into our environment because we've healed it. And we don't have
Mm-hmm.
those trigger points anymore. And we can just talk about things um, without going all haywire.
Crazy
Yes.
emotions, yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I try to see that backfires on me sometimes though. Cause like
Yeah.
my family, like I'll do that and they'll be like, oh well, you need to express your emotions more. And I'm just like, I do. You just don't see it. But Brigitte, let's play this game. Where
Okay.
should we begin? Where should we begin?
I don't know. You pick the card.
All right, it's gonna be random. Share something close to your heart. You don't have to say that. We can skip this one if you want, but it's kind of intense.
Oh, what's the other one? I can't. Oh, oh well, I'm an open book. That's a funny story. Well, it's not a
Okay.
funny story, but it is. Do you know?
Share something close to your heart about a sexual dilemma that you grappled with.
Yeah, I can talk about that. I have talked about it in my
Okay.
book as well. Um,
Okay.
Many women suffer from something called vaginismus, and that's because they've been through a lot of trauma. And it's
What is that?
so when so for instance, when I was abused as a kid, and I mean, I had that was stored in my in in the cells of my body. And so what happens is when I, for instance, when I got into a relationship, it's like when we were talking about the little mini factory in our head, right? The trauma remains there. And so it's
Mm-hmm.
like this little flip switch is like, oh my God, there's something invasive coming in. So you have problems with sexual
Mm.
relationships. It's very tough because it just cramps up. And it's something that
Mm.
is not widely understood. I never understood it until I was in my late 30s and I
Mm-hmm.
was advised what it was by a doctor.
Yeah.
Um, and so, yeah, I mean, I've healed from that trauma now, but I've been on my own since 2015. But I'm happy being on my own. So that was something that I grappled with my whole life, and I never understood why.
No, I've heard of that. Um, and you're good now.
Yeah, I'm good. I needed to heal. See, these are things that it's like life is like a puzzle and you've got to figure it out. You just got to figure it out. And that took me many years to figure out because I thought, what is wrong with me?
Yeah. And and not until you figure it out, then
Yeah,
you can heal from it.
yeah,
Instead of just telling yourself the story, this is how it is, and I
yeah,
have to deal with it.
yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, the stories we spin in our head, Thomas. My goodness.
Yeah, and it's up to us to pour more gasoline onto it or pour water on it.
Yes, absolutely.
Well, Brigitte, thank you for coming on.
Yeah.
I'm so grateful. Is your book out? It's not out yet.
Yes,
is
it is.
It is out?
It is.
I'm going to have to get me a copy.
Yeah, I
Is
can
it on
I can
Amazon?
send it to you.
Okay.
Yeah.
I really want to read it.
Becoming authentically yourself. It talks, you know what, Thomas, by the way, it does talk, I do tackle a lot of subjects with the many ascended masters in a humorous way, but also talking about addiction, mental health, depression, because even I suffered from depression. I just never labeled it like that. I was, even last year, I wasn't in such a good place, but I was very conscious of it, very conscious. So I knew exactly what I was doing.
That's a good start, yeah.
Yeah. And so I talk about that. And of course, I talk about the conscious shift and everything that's happened within the last couple of years, even going back to the dawn of time. I discuss my past lives, my life story. And it's just infused with many, many healing messages and exercises from the many masters.
I look forward to it. So I'm going to ask my 5 final questions.
Yes.
And my first question is, what is your biggest regret?
I don't have any. I don't. No, I don't. I'm exactly where I need to be in this moment in time.
Me too.
Yeah.
I hope.
No, you are.
I hope so.
Do you remember that song by Robbie Williams? He had this song, No Regrets.
Who is that? Who's Robbie Williams?
He's a singer.
I'll look it
Yep.
up after this. Robbie Williams, No Regrets.
Yep.
Is it an old school song?
Yeah, it's probably 20 years old.
Okay. I'll be 30 this year.
Oh yeah, you're young. You're young.
You said I'm a little young.
Yes, I did.
No, I still know music though. Like, I had a phase in high school where all I did was listen to 60s and 70s, like classical rock and hippie music. I had a phase.
Yeah.
But my next question is, who or what has made the biggest impact in your life that makes you who you are today?
That would be the biggest impact. The biggest impact that I had, which I talked about, was in 2009. That was my turning point. My absolute turning point of walking the holistic route. Because my ex had his own demons to deal with his drug hell. And I always say to him, I am so grateful, because if I hadn't met you, I would not be walking the path I am today. I would not have commenced walking that path. I might have still been, going up the career ladder in Shell.
Yeah. Yeah, that goes back to the saying, blessings in disguise, right?
Absolutely. Total blessing in disguise. And yeah, I'm just grateful for that experience. Not when I was in the middle of it, but I'm grateful now.
Yeah. Grateful that you've made it out and started this journey that you're on. It's awesome. Brigitte, my next question is, what is one lesson that you had to learn the hard way?
My whole life.
Yeah, life is one big lesson you have to learn the hard way.
Yeah, you do. I mean, there's so many experiences. I mean, I can talk about a harsh lesson from last year where I was working 70 hours a week doing a dual role in the company.
Really?
Yep. Um, I've lost it so many times all over again in my life that yeah, I mean, I've had so many harsh lessons, but they've all been beautiful lessons. Um, and I wouldn't have it any other way. But yes, for last year, I mean, I pretty much burnt out. I mean, I still kept going, and I told them I just wanted one role, made that very clear, and I pushed that through. But I'm continuously learning. It's never ending, Thomas. Absolutely never
Mm-hmm.
ending. And everything that I go through, I just take in my stride. I just go with the flow of it. That's one thing that I will say to people. It's like, remember, you are the universe as much as the universe is you. The universe is your dance partner. So please stop kicking its shins because you will just have a crinkle, you will have a wrinkly effect and not the effect that you intended. So just go with the flow and cha cha smooth with the universe.
But sometimes it's okay to kick to kick the shits.
Well, you'll probably do yourself some, you'll probably do yourself some disfavors, but
Well, no, sometimes the universe will kick your
yes,
shins, and you
yes,
have to,
absolutely. It's like,
yeah.
follow my lead.
Or not. No, I'm just kidding. All right, my next question is, what would you want to experience in life or do if you had all the time and all the money in the world?
Oh, I'd love to empower people, inspire people, set up a retreat for those suffering from any kind of trauma, whether that's any form of addiction, PTSD, and just helping them heal. Because at the end of the day, I mean, even though I'm a healer, I'm a tool in the toolbox. Yeah. It's unlocking the potential within, because within us, we are our own greatest healers. Well, we're our own greatest healers, our builders or destroyers, we can self destruct at any moment, but we can also heal at any point in time. If I could do that, that would be
Yeah.
amazing. And just have other healers come together and help, because we're all here to help one another and to inspire one another.
Yeah, that reminds me of this meditation I used to do. And she would say, we always have the key within
Yep.
ourselves to heal, but we also have that red button that sends the bomb
Yes.
and can destroy us. So we have to decide to, that goes back to deciding, you know.
Yes. It's a choice.
What would your retreat look like?
Heaven? No, I mean,
There'd be mirrors everywhere. The whole building would be mirrors.
oh, definitely room nature.
The hallways,
Yeah.
you'd be looking at yourself. Where am I going?
No, I have no idea, but I'd love to have it in nature and go back to the
Mm,
basics. Yeah.
I like that. There's something also, like, going back to the grounding meditation,
Mm.
something also that grounds you is literally the ground.
Yes, it is. Absolutely.
With your feet,
Yes.
but with your bare
Yes.
feet, and bare skin, touching
The earth.
real grass and earth. Yeah, something about it. You feel it.
Yep.
Well, Brigitte, is there any last thing you'd like to express with the audience to leave them with?
Do you want a light language demo?
You talking about right now?
Yes.
Sure.
Okay. I'm going to ask you, is there an intent? Do you want to put out there for it?
I'll put out the intent to make whoever is listening to this feel safe.
Safe.
Yeah.
I like that. I like that. Safe. Feeling safe. That can be, that's broad, but I like that. Yes. Okay. Right. So I'm going to ask you to close your eyes. Yeah, you too. Okay. And just relax within your being. Take a very deep, positive breath in, full of light and love. And gently let go of all the heaviness of the day. And just keep breathing in and out. Now, if you're new to light language, as I will always say, just allow for the codes of feeling safe to be absorbed within your whole being. Yeah, as they say, it's like streaming through like the codes of the Matrix. You know the movie The Matrix? But it's light codes in this case. So just allow it to rain down. So se la heniki la wahela katuki asomi aloa hemiko talo ele kini misikalo waheta tu kusi si alalwete tu ka anuile ki amasaki wala hade ku ilikiti amaho talo wiki kiki amakusi ki amahata ti tatataisi kurat nuele fi palala le kithi amalu ani wiki asiki amahoi wiki atika kakaiwe Muniasi kisi amahoki takata himi kisi alueha pokano kisa aluhe nue asiki makini wa asi yamaku tatiti yamaku ushini wa. What they're also doing is just putting a beautiful transparent crystal bubble around you just to make you feel safe and loved. Kaso kinia loeka kukeka nusiki amahui wutu isia pupa hei waha. Toke asiki amahu. Tisi oshiniwa. Thank you. It's different, right?
No, I felt it. Feels good.
Good. I'm glad.
Brigitte, Visser, everybody, go check her out. Go check out her new book, Becoming Authentically You, out now. And as always, everyone, stay curious, keep going. You got this. Peace.
Thanks.